Hi, I'm excited to be at an air show, the 51st annual Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo at Lakeland Linder International Airport in Lakeland, Florida. I'm Ron Timmermans, one of the many hosts for the Florida Aviation Network, and I'm so delighted that you joined us today. We are interviewing special aviation personalities and industry leaders throughout the aviation industry. Our goal in Florida Aviation Network is to make everyone safer pilots and the whole aviation a safer endeavor. And as we talk with people, we always ask, what do you do or how do you contribute to aviation safety? And that's the case with the folks that I'm about to interview today. I have with me today Miss Susie Holmes and Mr. Paul Holmes. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Paul and Susie, thank you.
Very
so
nice
good
to
to
be
see
here.
you.
It is. So there are residents nearby, Port Orange, Texas, more specifically Spruce Creek Fly-In. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You've been residents there for a good while.
Yeah, about 23 years.
Oh my goodness,
We've
that
been
is
there for a while.
quite a while. That's great. And so Paul, among other things, at one time piloted a 4-engine jet, but now he's reduced to flying a single-engine jet that never leaves the ground.
Nope. Never
How
gets
does that
over
work, Paul?
12 knots is its maximum speed. I think its stall speed is probably about 150 knots, so it's never going to get off the ground.
Never going to get off the ground, but you're never going to stall it either, right?
I won't.
No
I
stall
won't get
spin
close.
accidents for you.
No.
Well, this device that you, or not this apparatus, this vehicle that you now pilot around
Yes.
air shows like Sun and Fun and Oshkosh at times, what are you calling it?
It's a Holmes JetMobile.
The Holmes JetMobile. Named after Susie, or you, or both?
Yeah, her last name is Holmes. Of course I named it after my wife.
You're a wise man,
You're
Paul.
so smart.
Indeed. Well, we'll have some pictures or a video here in just a moment, but can you explain to our audience what this is that you maneuver around in at the air shows?
So I was a 747 captain for about 20 years at Northwest and Delta Airlines, and I always wanted to have a jet engine display that I was going to put at an office park that I owned, and so I found a jet engine that I could buy off of an airplane that was being disassembled in Opelika, Florida, back in 2013, and I brought it home to my hangar in Florida, and I was going to make it into a static display, and then I was sitting around with some friends right around happy hour. And we got the idea, if we could put that jet engine on wheels, it would be way more fun. And so I made a parade float out of it.
And here we have some video of it that our audience is seeing now. So this is the JetMobile.
Yes,
and
sir.
this is a 747 engine?
Yeah, it's a JT9D
Okay.
off of a 747 200 model.
Wow. And as pilot of this vehicle, where do you sit? Way up in the top, is it?
Yeah, I've got a lot of parts that came off the same airplane. The interior is 2 first-class seats that came out of it. It was a Singapore Airlines jet for years. And I've got the captain's seat and the rudder pedals that came out of that very same airplane. And I mounted them up high, and that's the seat up there is where I drive it from.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what is it? What is its chassis now?
It's a tough cart golf cart. So it's got 8 batteries instead of 6, and it's a little bit beefier. It weighs about 3,000 pounds. And so I cut off the top of it, put a big pole down through the middle of it that gets to the steering linkage, and I steer it from the top.
So you
know,
designed it
sit
and built it yourself?
about 10 feet high on the top. Yeah, I did. I completely designed it on the back of a bar napkin.
So whoever said that you can't get greatness from enjoying adult beverages with fellow aviators? I mean, that's when some really great ideas are born.
The best ideas.
Yeah, indeed. Would you agree, Susie?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Indeed. So I remember having some adult beverages with you one time after our flight.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's always a good conversation piece. So this device, what do you call it? Not a device.
It's the JetMobile.
The JetMobile.
Yeah,
Okay. The
it's the
JetMobile weighs 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, about 3,000.
And so are some or all of the engines still there, or have you gutted it and put in your own stuff?
No, it's completely hollowed out. It's just the nacelle, and I put a fan that looks like a fan, if you saw the pictures, and I was on a 747 trip out of JFK, and I took a dead-on shot of the fan blades, and I had to do it at night and bring some of my own lighting and stuff because you didn't want shadows or anything. And I blew that picture up and put it on perf wrap so I can actually see through that as I'm driving it. and it's a picture of the fan blades, and it looks fairly realistic.
It does. It does. I'm looking at it right now in the video, and it does.
It's
definitely
actually,
looks.
yeah, it's just plexiglass. And that nose cone was a big deal because I bought all the parts to it, and when they're taking apart a 747, a lot of the parts they're going to melt them down for aluminum, but the nacelles, you can buy the nacelles for about $2,000 each because they make beds out of them, they made bars out of them, all sorts of flower planters, a lot of creative ideas through the years people have done with it. And I wanted that nose cone because that nose cone is the real deal.
Yeah.
And so I bought the parts from just a few $1,000s, and I said, I need one of those nose cones. And he said, the guy that was selling it, he goes, oh, no problem. I said, well, how much for the nose cone? He said, that'll be $27,000.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? And he goes, no, it's not BER. It's not beyond economic repair. He goes, I can sell those nose cones to airlines all over the world.
Oh, okay,
And
so they're useful.
yeah, that didn't happen that day, but I got a call from the guy about a week later, and he said, Paul, you still want that nose cone? And I'm saying, yeah.
But not at that price.
Not for $27,000. And he said, your lucky day happened yesterday. He goes, I was taking it off myself. And he goes, it's a good thing I was taking it off because I would have killed one of my workers, but I dropped it, and it's got a little scuff mark on it, and I can't sell it.
Oh, my goodness.
So he gave it to me. For
highly
a lot better
discounted.
deal.
Highly discounted.
It wasn't $27,000.
That's good. So how much do you have wrapped up in the JetMobile, or is it tough to say, or you don't want to say in this particular company?
It's kind of secret. But
Okay, that's good. I can respect that.
$85,000.
Ooh, wow, good. So how often do you bring it out and have it on display, or have it
Well,
showcased?
it started out at Spruce Creek. We have a toy parade, we call it. Every Christmas, people bring out their airplanes and they make different types of parade floats out of golf carts and the like, and it's a parade. And so it started out to be in the Spruce Creek Parade, and then it was good enough that air show people started calling me and asking me to come to air shows. So I always donated. I never take any money for it, and mostly I'll go to just Sun and Fun. I've been to Oshkosh, but that was a 2,700-mile round trip that we couldn't do it again. One time, one and done for Oshkosh.
Yeah.
We loved it, but so this is mostly the home where it comes out for a week every year, and I bring it to Sun and Fun, and we love it here. These people are great.
We thank you for it. It's great. Susie, did you participate at all in the construction of the JetMobile?
I allowed it to happen. How about that?
And gave him moral support, I trust.
Moral support,
Yes.
right.
There's a sticker on it.
Lots of trips to Lowe's for them, that kind of thing. Support. I was support staff
That's
for the
great.
building of it.
And the sticker that you mentioned says
Right when
what?
you get into it, it says, I'd like to dedicate this to my wife, Susie, who's earned her place in heaven for letting me build this thing.
Okay, so you have an important part in this,
Yeah,
Susie, so
yeah.
that's great.
Also, she's the chief waver from the top. You know, she does her Minnesota parade wave.
Oh
as
yeah,
they're
I sit
driving.
next to him
Yeah,
and wave.
yeah.
Yep.
That's
From Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, and I help, he gives out a lot of rides to people, especially little kids that want to get on, or so I help get the kids on and off, or whoever wants to go
Yeah.
for a ride.
So we saw the fan blades spinning, so there's other features as well, and what else does the JetMobile do that you're able to?
So it's got a big stereo system, and it's got disco lights, and it's got a smoke machine, so it has a little smoke that comes out of it. And it's the biggest thing that people get the biggest kick out of is I bought a hot air balloon burner, and I mounted it on the back. You can see the square box that's got a hot air balloon in it. Burner. It blows out a 20-foot flame at a 45-degree angle up and back that gets people's attention.
I can imagine it does. So you don't need to honk a horn as you're overtaking someone.
No,
you just
people know I'm there.
Yeah, indeed, they do.
If they don't hear the music,
Yeah, they're, I imagine, a little bit startled by that, but that's appropriate. Now, the horizontal fins on the back of the jet engine, is that stock or is that something added?
No, I just added little
Okay.
winglets just to make it
Look cool.
unique.
Yeah.
It's
okay,
very unique.
good.
There's only one in the world.
Yes, indeed, and I imagine this will only be the only one because there's not as many understanding housewives, supporting wives as you have.
That's the
So I see on the side you have support Young Eagles. Tell me about your support for Young Eagles.
Well, I always thought that was an excellent program, and we have a very active Young Eagles program in Spruce Creek. They take them flying 3 times a year, I think, and sometimes we'll have 6 or 7 or 8 airplanes and just line them up and keep on taking them around. We take them out to the ocean and back, and there's a lot of good people at Spruce Creek that put in a lot of energy and effort to making the Young Eagles program work. And so seeing that, I wanted to promote that, and that's why I put that on there.
Very good, very good. And Susie, you're a pilot in your own right, having a commercial
I
pilot,
am. Commercial
instrument rating,
multi-engine,
and
yep.
multi. Very good. So how many hours do you have, for instance?
Just a little over 1,000 probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot. And Paul, a little more than 1,000, I imagine?
30,000.
30,000. Yeah. You're probably like so many of those airline pilots that don't even count their hours anymore.
Not much, but you know what 30,000 hours means? That you're really old.
Okay, good. Good. Earlier we were talking about the 50-year mark, and you're getting close to that or already there, and getting your Master Pilot Award. That's good. So, and I often tell people I don't have nearly as many hours as you do, but I've got a number of hours that I've accumulated. I tell people the most important hour is not the ones behind me, but the next one in front of me. You know, planning for it, being a safe pilot, and the like. And I'm sure during your career, Paul, and your aviation career, Susie, as well, you've experienced some tense moments and are still here to tell about it. So I was going to ask, is there anything during your military career or during your commercial aviation career or even GA career that were somewhat tense and that you came through okay?
The quickest story would be a 40-year-old story when I was a second officer on the 727, and we were taking off out of Boston, and they have intersecting runways, and they were landing on this runway and taking off on this runway, and it had about 1,000 feet to go before the intersection, and we got a takeoff clearance, and I heard the tower say, Northwest whatever, cancel takeoff clearance.
That was you?
And it was to us, and the captain didn't hear it. And I said, you guys hear that? I'm like, what? And they said it again. I said, hey, they're telling us to stop. And we stopped about 10 feet short of this intersection to watch a DC-9 lift its wing up and fly by us on a go-around.
Way too close.
That was my one holy cow moment, I think, in aviation. That was the closest call ever.
Yeah.
And nothing happened of it, but it was a...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cows, let me tell our cow story.
Okay.
If you're gonna say holy cow, one.
Go ahead.
Is this another cow story?
Yeah.
We did have one.
Right,
Okay, go ahead.
Right after I got my private pilot's license, we bought a Tomahawk because that would be a simple plane for me to really get, my feel secure flying by myself. So we bought a Tomahawk and we picked it up in somewhere down south, I think like Tennessee or something.
Yeah, it was in
and
Tennessee.
we were going to fly it to California. We're on the first leg, and we have an engine failure.
To Tomahawk to California?
Yeah, Tomahawk to
Whoa,
California.
brave
Because I was
people.
gonna do my flying.
Well, she was trying to build time.
Yeah,
that would do it.
Yeah. So we have an engine failure, and there was a runway, really long runway we had gone over, and we thought, oh, we can get back there, and we couldn't, but we did make it to a cow field and landed with I don't know how many cows there, 50 cows.
Wow.
It was a short cow field
Short
with 50-foot lines, power lines on one end that I never saw. And I was going for one way. It was one field, and I was too high. And so I had to duck into I wasn't going to make it. I was too low. And I had to duck into this other field, and I had no choice. It was really quick decision making. And so I pushed it over, got up to about 90 miles an hour, and I was going to get it on the ground. And I had trees that were coming up. And fortunately, it was a cow pasture with grass this high, and it slowed me down from like 90 miles an hour to stop in about, 1,000 feet or so.
Wow.
And I saw cows over here. I went around, and then over here. I don't mean one or two, I mean like a dozen.
Yeah.
And then right ahead of me at the very end, just before I didn't know I was going to be able to stop, I figured, all right, I'm going to take a cow on each side of the wings. And so I went to try to go between two cows, and I had no idea that cows could run that fast.
They definitely saw you
Cows
coming.
can run.
Yeah. That is
And
a great...
we missed them all. And we looked back, and on the ground we had this big S that we did to the thing. And the farmer came out, and he was so nice, and he actually
He was grateful that his cows were still in
Yeah,
one piece.
right.
I didn't hurt a cow.
He thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The plane landed in his cow
We
field.
left it there overnight, and he goes, "Hey, you know, you can't hold me accountable for my cows." And I didn't know what he meant. And the next day we came back to get it, and the cows had eaten every piece of plastic off my airplane.
Whoa.
Yeah, it had
Cows
not
like-
a scratch on it for landing,
Yeah,
but then
but-
we had some problems.
Cow
Yeah.
damage.
Which is no big deal.
Did you?
Just
How do you send that into the insurance company?
Yeah.
But it worked out. We
Yeah.
were very, very
That's
happy.
good.
We
That's
walked
good.
away from that one.
That's good. Well, that's wonderful. So, Paul, 30,000 hours of aviation experience, some of it with the military. Thank you for your service to our country, by the way. And then with commercial airlines, and now just general aviation and the JetMobile, right? The JetMobile, do you log that time or not?
Well, I think we should mention you were my instructor on my brand new, to me, I bought a pressurized Baron last year, and I got the best instructor in the world right here. And they came to our house for 3 days,
Yeah.
and we had so much fun. I think we put probably, I don't know, 12 hours or so on it
Something
in 3
like that.
days. And
It was an
you are
enjoyable
an
time.
excellent
Well, thank you.
instructor.
Thank you so much.
for being there.
Yeah, I'll pay you later now for that.
I highly advise him, folks.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
was
best.
good.
Okay. Susie, you've lived at Spruce Creek now 23 years, was it?
23 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so is this like the best of the best, having it's like airplane candy right out the
Oh,
door, right?
it's so fun living there.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. I was in real estate there for a while, and the men would come, and I'd show them, and they'd say, "Oh, I just wish I could get my wife to move here." I said, "Don't worry, she's gonna love it."
Yeah.
You know, there's no talking the wives into it. There's so much to do. So much physical activity, so many clubs to
Beyond
be in.
aviation.
Oh yeah, totally beyond aviation.
Yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful. And so you're no longer in real estate there?
No, I'm retired.
Good for you.
Yay.
Retired,
Yeah.
and Paul is as well. So
Yeah.
that's good. So you've got some time on your hands.
Yeah.
Except you're busy all the time as retirees, you told me.
Yeah, busy all the time. We thought when we retired, let's do everything while we're still young enough and healthy to do it. And now I'm exhausted from being retired because we haven't stopped.
You need to retire from retirement.
Yeah,
That's good.
exactly.
So recently you took that P Baron back to your first home drome. Is that correct, Paul?
Yeah, Long Island. MacArthur Airport is where I soloed back in 1974 when I was 17 years old. And I worked at McIntyre Aviation, and the facility is still there even though it's changed names. And I got to fly my Baron back to the place that I started. I was a flight instructor there and a charter pilot, all at McIntyre Aviation on Long Island, New York.
Wow. Wow.
And it was really cool coming back to it, you know, full circle.
Yeah,
After
indeed.
all these years.
How wonderful. I had the chance, so my first airplane ride was with my big brother, who quite a bit older than me. He was in college and I was still in grade school, and my parents and I went to visit him at the university. And he was a member of a flying club there, and he took us for a ride. My first ride in an airplane. I was absolutely thrilled, and the hook was set. Like for you, the hook was set with me. I decided right then and there I was going to be a pilot someday and do what my brother did. So that was fun. And then after that, I had a chance to fly back there. I think I was teaching a Rusty Pilot seminar back at that same airport, so I got to fly in there and I go, wow, I know what it feels like. You
Yeah,
know, I
it's
had your
really
first
neat.
airplane ride. Brings you back to your roots. It
really did.
It really does indeed. So that's good. And I think someone just told me the amount of time I had left, but I didn't hear it. So I think he's going to tell me in a moment. And
Okay.
so there we go. I got it now. And let's see. One other thing I was going to mention here. In the military, you flew in the Air Force, was it?
Yeah, I flew in the Air Force Reserves, C-141 out of McGuire Air Force Base.
Okay. That's in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, in New Jersey.
Yeah. So you were already working for Northwest at the time?
No, it's a 2-year training program. I had an ATP going into the Air Force, and so it was a 2-year training program, and then you're in reserves.
Oh, okay.
And so I immediately got hired I was 24 years old, and I got hired by Northwest Airlines back in
wonderful.
1981.
Yeah, so from big transport airplanes to commercial airlines?
I called it, the C-141, I called it airline lead-in
that's a
because
good
it was
idea.
great training
Yeah,
for,
preparatory.
for getting hired.
Preparatory work,
and I
right.
was very happy with
Yeah.
Northwest. I had a
And
wonderful
Susie,
career.
you had a career with the airlines as well, with Northwest?
I did, yeah. Right out of college, I was a flight attendant for Northwest.
Excellent. And you did that how many years?
Yeah. Oh, like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I think
That's good.
it's a fantastic job, the flight attendant
And
job.
were you ever on the same flights together?
A lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
a lot.
yeah.
We bid together a lot. out of New York, Tokyo, Honolulu, Tokyo.
That makes
We
the
were both in
layovers a
Hawaii.
whole lot more fun. I'll
Well,
bet
every
it
time
is.
I got together with her, I'm sitting in the captain's seat, and my girlfriend, wife, is in the back, and it feels like they just give you a 747.
Yeah,
Say, go have
like
fun.
we're just pretend.
It felt like it every time. It really did. It was
What
that
a
good.
deal. There
I
just happened to be a
loved
couple
it.
hundred other people along for the
Yeah,
ride. though.
400.
400
Yeah,
more.
400
yeah.
more, yeah.
But they joined our
yeah.
little vacation.
Yeah,
What
it'd
were,
be
what were
fun.
some of the best routes, Susie?
Oh, together?
Yeah.
I would say some of the most fun. We went to Singapore together.
Yeah, Tokyo.
Yeah, obviously Shanghai.
We flew a
Excellent.
charter for the Tennessee Titans
Yeah,
football
we did a
team when
couple
they went to the
charters.
Super Bowl.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Brought them there.
So now you're flying a P Baron and a JetMobile.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What a great
I'm
combination.
down to it. I'll have 30,000 hours of flying, and will anybody talk about Paul Holmes, the jet pilot? Nope. They're going to talk about that guy that had the JetMobile.
Yeah.
He'll be on my gravestone.
You've made your mark. Both of you have made your mark. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, thank you for joining me, Susie and Paul. It's been wonderful to see pictures of the JetMobile and to hear about it and to hear about each of your careers and your experiences. This has been most fun for me, and I've enjoyed flying with you as an instructor as
you're
well. It's been
the
thank-
best instructor.
Yeah, it's
Thank
so
you so
good
much
to
for
see
being
you
with.
again.
Okay, take care. So, for the Florida Aviation Network, I'm Ron Timmermans, one of the many hosts. Thank you for joining us today. We've had like 5 or 6 interviews. Tomorrow, even more interviews. So stay tuned or come back again tomorrow. Florida Aviation Network. We're looking forward to seeing you then.